In this town, it's hard to outrun rumors. Unless it's for my storyline. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I am here to review the season 13 episode 1 premiere of the Real Housewives Who Are Not Allowed to Get a Tattoo of Beverly Hills. We start the season off with a bunch of blogs reporting on Kyle and her husband Mauricio's fake separation that they're going through. And then we head over to Dorit's house where we see her husband, of all people, PK. He's in the kitchen, he's eating potato chips. Dorit, she walks in and she has a whole brand new look this season. She's brunette and I don't think I'm a fan of it. You know, I'm trying to force myself to like it, but I think I prefer her blonde, but at least she's trying something new, right? If anything, Dorit, I'm on to you. I see exactly what you're doing. She probably thought, Andy's probably gonna fire me after last season. Let me switch my hair color and act like I'm a new housewife. That way I could fool him into thinking I'm somebody else. And then here we are. So she's telling PK, PK, Bubba, please put the potato chips down. You're eating way too much. Stop it, Bubba. She tells PK that she feels that the group needs a spiritual journey, a spiritual awakening to heal after everything that they've gone through last season. And, the housewives, they always want to do these type of activities. They want to do these spiritual journeys, spiritual healings. And, what happened to the good old days where you could just go to Applebee's and, just settle your differences over margaritas and hot wings? Why do we have to do all of this? You're going to mess around, Dorit, and summon some type of exorcist, dealing with this group specifically. But PK, he goes to answer the door because the two women who are there to moderate this whole journey are there. One of the moderators, her name is Eaglewoman, and her assistant is named Blue Raven. So PK introduces them to Dorit, and Dorit feels like he's poking fun at their names, and she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry for my Bubba and what he's saying right now. I'm apologizing for anything that's gonna come out of his mouth. And I know that Dorit is shaking in her Louis Vuitton boots after the backlash that she, PK, Mauricio, and Kyle got last season after talking bad about Garcel's son behind her back. I see what you're doing, Dorit. Eaglewoman explains how she does her healing with a talking stick, and that was it. We get the activity on the go and the first group gathering within the first 10 minutes of the new season. So everyone's getting ready. Dorit, I wasn't sure if she was heading to a fashion show in the mountains or to go heal because she had her Ariana Grande ponytail, her Chanel sweater. She was doing a photo shoot, and I just know that she probably captioned those photos something like, healing is so much better when you're wearing comfortable heels. Like, I can already see it. So she calls Kyle, who's back this season. She's getting out the shower. She's in a towel. She's like, hi, Kyle. Hi, my baby. How are you? Are you ready to go heal? I'm so excited to do this. Like, we're going to go heal, and it's going to be so chic. Are you doing okay, my baby? And Kyle is like, oh, I don't know what to wear. I don't know what to wear. And since she's in a towel, it starts getting all loose, and Dorit's like, oh, my God, my baby, you need to cover up. I don't want to see all of that. And Kyle, she starts getting a little frisky, and she's like, oh, you don't? You don't want to see any of this, Dorit? You don't? I'm like, okay, Kyle, Housewives gone wild, but we head over to Sutton. She's back this season and she's getting ready while on the phone with Crystal, who's also back, or at least she's kind of back this season, sort of, because this whole entire episode, Crystal, they did you so dirty. They didn't show anything of Crystal whatsoever. And, let's give a moment of silence for Crystal. All right, so they're all heading up to this mountain, and honestly, I would not be going anywhere near a mountain with a group of women who I just got into a fight with not too long ago, and we're not on good terms. I'm not sure if one of them are trying to, push me off by mistake and make it look like an accident, but we see Garcel. She's also back. She's in the car with Sutton, and I love this hair color on Garcel. And in the confessional, she was like, I really thought we were gonna solve our problems, while getting drinks by the beach or something, but instead, we're going to the mountains with Dorit. When you put it that way, Garcel, it kind of does sound like a terrible time, but obviously she still doesn't see it for Dorit, right? So then we all get to this house on the mountain. They're all greeting each other, and I just don't know how any of them could do it because, again, we all kind of left off kind of like sort of hating each other for the most part. Crystal versus Kyle. Garcel was iffy with Kyle. Sutton was iffy with Kyle, and they're all just hugging each other like nothing ever happened. Absolutely not. If I was Garcel, this is how I would greet Kyle. Hey, Kyle, how are you? I still remember what the hell you said about my son last season. Don't think I forgot. Oh, you look so great. Oh, Dorit, how are you? You fake ass bitch. I still remember what you and PK said about my son too. Oh, you look so good in that Chanel sweater. But you know, I guess we have to keep it very cordial for now, right? And then we see the one and only Miss I'm getting sued by somebody every other weekend, Erica Jane. She makes it up the mountain, she comes out the car, and already she's trying to victimize herself. And she's like, you know, last season was a lot for me. You know, I feel like I became a rough person. I became this vicious woman, and I'm just not like that, you know? But now I'm trying to change, I'm trying to heal, and now I'm left on an island all by myself. And what she means by that is that now she has nobody really on her team besides Kyle, I guess, technically, because Lisa Rinna is no longer on the show. And I'm surprised that Bravo even acknowledged Lisa Rinna in this way, and they kind of broke the fourth wall by putting a screenshot of the email that Lisa Rinna sent to Bravo or Andy. And then supposedly, allegedly, Lisa Rinna regretted it the second that she sent it, but it was too late because Bravo had received it. They told Lisa Rinna, sorry, you're gonna be put on pause, and that's that. And you see, Lisa Rinna, you see what happens when you think on emotion? You know, it's the same thing when you text your sneaky link like, hey, I don't think that this is gonna work out between me and you, so we're done. So please delete my number and leave me alone forever. And then 2 days later, you get lonely and then you hit them up again like, hey, are you busy tonight? You know, you regret it instantly. Like, wait a minute, no. And that's exactly what happened here. So Erica Jane, she goes inside the little house and they're all looking at her. Of course, they start talking about how she looks now, her transformation, Dorit and Kyle specifically. And, you know, Erica, she in the confessional, they ask her, so are you taking Ozempic? You know, because Ozempic is the new thing in the Housewives universe, or just in general. Everybody's taking that to lose weight, to get skinnier. Erica Jane, she says, no, it's just hormones. And you know, I don't want to comment on anybody, how they look, but, you know, it is a huge transformation from how she looked, you know, last season to now. It could be working out, but with the whole Ozempic thing and how that's going around, Dorit doesn't buy it though, because in the confessional, which by the way, Dorit was on fire this entire episode in the confessional, she was like, I mean, if hormones is spelled like Ozempic, then yeah, I could believe that she's on hormones. Kyle, the same thing. She also feels that Erica is probably messing around with Ozempic, which Kyle, you have no room to talk either because you're also being accused of taking Ozempic yourself. So Eaglewoman takes everyone outside to follow her in a circle with her stick. And before she does anything, she starts to chant and she's like, I pull up in these clothes, look so good, cause I'm in that hole. It's not the diamonds, and it's not the pearls. I'm that girl. And then she proceeds to tell everybody, okay, we're all gonna talk about our differences. And Dorit, she starts it off first and she takes aim at Erica. And she's like, so my baby, Erica, so I didn't appreciate what you said about me and my bubba PK. I love PK. What you said about us at BravoCon saying that we were gonna have a divorce. I mean, that's kind of true because that's going to be my storyline for next season, but I didn't like you saying it to the public like that before I said anything, so you're a bad friend. And then what does Erica say? Her excuse is, well, I mean, Dorit, you know, I mean, I was asked a question at BravoCon, and I'm a showman. You know, I'm a showman, so that's what I do. I have to entertain people, so I gave an answer. And, I mean, yeah, I guess it could be entertaining to the audience and to me. But, you know, if Dorit is your friend, why would you put her on blast? Even if it was true that her and PK, which I kind of believe, are going to eventually split, it just goes to show that you're not a true friend. And then Dorit, in the confessional, the dramatics, she was like, a showman? She wants to be a showman? You're not being a showman. You're being a bitch. Even I felt that through the screen and I almost took it personal. So then Erica, she reverses it on Dorit and she's like, so wait a minute, is everything okay between you and PK in your marriage? And I'm like, wow, we're really seeing the downfall of this friendship between them. And I'm looking at Dorit like, well, are you gonna answer the question? And I know that Eaglewoman, I know she wanted to turn into Pigeon Woman and fly her ass away. Like seeing all of this go down, like, wait a minute, I thought we were doing healing. What is this? So then Dorit, she's like, yeah, of course, everything is okay with me and Bubba. Yeah, of course. I'm like, sure, Dorit, sure, you know. And then I believe, what's her name? Sutton in the confessional, she says, well, I mean, I've heard some things about PK, you know, when he got pulled over for the DUI. Was it last season or 2 seasons ago? Regardless, she says that supposedly he was with a woman in the car when he got pulled over. Now, according to Teddy, Yes, Teddy, former house flop on this show. She was just on Watch What Happens Live. She actually says that, oh, I don't really trust what Sutton says because Sutton, she was basically alluding that Sutton is an alcoholic and she carries vodka in her purse every day. And then she also looked up the records of, that night that he got pulled over. And on the records, it's supposed to say that if he was with somebody in the car, and it says that he was alone. But, that's coming from Teddy. So I'm not sure how accurate that is. But eventually, I believe Dorit's like, well, you're being a terrible friend to me. Like, I get it that you had a hard time. You lost everything. You lost your money. You lost your house. You lost your husband. You lost everything. His car flipped 5 times. But that's not my fault. And Erica, again, trying to victimize herself. She was like, I had a very tough year, and I know that I probably came off a little rough, a little vicious. So as a friend, Dorit, I just want to say I'm sorry and I apologize for my behavior. And just like Garcel said in the confessional, it's very interesting seeing Erica get all emotional and vulnerable and start crying. Do I trust it? I don't know. Me personally, I do not buy it whatsoever. She knows if Lisa Rinna was still on the show, she would have never apologized to Dorit. But now, like she said a second ago, oh, I'm on an island by myself. She knows that she can't continue her Ice Queen behavior and she has to soften up a bit or else she's gonna end up icing herself off the show. And she knows that if she apologizes to Dorit's an airhead, she's gonna fall for it, like, okay, fine. And then boom, she's still gonna have some type of rope on this show. So then Kyle wants to share her feelings, and I could not believe the BS that was coming out of her mouth. She started off like, with everything that happened with my sister Kathy last season, I just wish that Dorit and Sutton could have been there for me more. And I'm like, Kyle, what? Like, you cannot be serious. Like, you really wanted Dorit and Sutton out of everybody to defend you from your sister? From what? Like, she didn't do anything to you. If anything, you threw her to the wolves again, like you did your first sister many, many years ago, Kim. You sold her goddamn house. And now you threw Kathy to the wolves with Lisa, and you took Lisa Rinna's side. And now you want to play victim, like, oh, my sister was coming for me, but nobody was there to defend me. Like, what? Like, you can't be that delusional. Yeah, you can. And I'm glad that Garcel told you the person that you should have been addressing, you never addressed them to begin with, aka Lisa Rinna. Like, you sat there and you just let her come after your sister in front of you. Like, she literally told Kathy to her face, you're not gonna get away with this, Kathy. Like, I wish somebody would say that to my sister. Yeah, she is gonna get away with it. And you just sat there crying like, oh, Kathy, I can't believe this. Why would you say that about me? Like, and now you want to play the victim. And then you want to be shocked when both your sisters don't speak to you. Like, I just cannot believe that. Like, the nerve and the audacity, Kyle. And you're lucky that Sutton didn't turn it back on you and say, well, where was my defending last season when Diana Jenkins and her tongue were constantly coming at me, especially at Garcel's birthday party? Remember what you did then? You grabbed me like a rag doll and you were like, stop it, Sutton, stop it. Don't call her names. Don't say that. Yet you want me to defend you against your sister now. Interesting. And then as for Crystal, she's just sitting there and I'm looking at her like, Crystal, come on now, do something, like start something with somebody. If I was her, I would have brought up old shit just for fun. Like, you know what, Erica Jane? Did you ever pay back those orphans and widows? Just to get some camera footage. But eventually Eaglewoman was like, okay, let's all just get up and let's all just have a big group hug. Absolutely not. If I was Garcel or Sutton and I see Erica or Kyle heading my direction, get the fuck off me. Anyway, come over here, Sutton. Let's hug. But you see, that's what sucks about not having Lisa Rinna and Kathy Hilton on this season specifically, because I kind of wanted to see the fallout from the reunion. That reunion was very intense, and now we only get to hear Kyle's side of the story. And I don't know if she's gonna cry about this every other episode, but then we head over to Sutton and she's got her store. And I've said this story before, but I actually met her at this very same store this past summer because she was hosting a Pride event, and I thought, maybe I should go to it. They might put me on as a friend of the show for season 14. They might give me a diamond or something. Who knows, right? So I show up, I meet her. She was super nice. She was so sweet to everybody. So she's at her store. She's writing everything about business, what's going on. And then we see the one and only, the icon, Jennifer Tilly. I almost screamed when I saw her because I know that they're like really close friends. They're like best friends off the show. And I think we've seen her on the show before. I'm not sure, but I've always wanted her to be an official friend of the show or a housewife. But then again, I'm not sure because if Erica comes for her, I wouldn't want to see that. But I'm a big fan of Jennifer Tilly. I think she has my favorite voice ever. Like, I just love her voice. Like, hi, how are you doing? And what's going on? What's happening? They're sitting down, and basically what I got from this conversation is that when Sutton was pregnant, that her husband used to give her an allowance and, gave her money and everything, but eventually the allowance stopped, and Sutton vowed to never let that happen again. And I'm not sure if she means by not ever having a man dangle money in front of your face like that. I'm not sure if she meant it that way. Not that she has to really worry about that anyway, because then we see in the settlement, Sutton, from her ex-husband, she gets $300,000 a month. I can't even get an ice cream cone from these men, but she could get $300,000. Like, must be nice. Like, that is crazy. $300,000. And then she's worried. She's worried about the wrong things because she's like, oh, well, I just want to prove to him that I'm more than just, somebody who just makes sandwiches and stays in the kitchen. Fuck him. You have 300,000 opinions that actually matter every month, yet you're worried about that from him. We see Erica Jane meeting up with her therapist, Dr. Mann, to talk about Dorit and Tom and how she feels relieved that her name is not being involved in Tom's indictment. But she doesn't like that it doesn't sway anybody's opinion of looking at her as guilty of something in Tom's crimes. And I mean, yeah, Erica, you can say that you didn't know anything about what Tom was doing behind your back, allegedly, a million times. I'm never gonna believe it. I'm always gonna feel that allegedly she knew and that she just turned a blind eye because she saw the lavish lifestyle that he was bringing in with other people's money and she had no issue with it. So, but did anybody hear the reporter of the clip that they showed? The reporter was reporting on Tom and she was like, Tom Girardi was indicted of everything that he was doing illegally and taking thousands and thousands of millions of dollars to use on him and his much, much younger wife. Like, damn, lady, are you upset? Are you bitter that it's not you? That last part was very unneeded. Much, much younger wife. Oh, and then we see Crystal. Did anybody see Crystal? I mean, it was like for 2 seconds, but we saw her talking to her husband, Lion King, about this whole situation. And Lion King was like, well, I mean, even if she didn't know about what Tom was doing, she still spent the money. And then here comes Crystal. Yeah. And then we cut back to Erica. Like, it was so quick. It was like this. Yeah. She also talks about how when the day comes that Tom passes away, what is going to happen to her emotionally and mentally. And I feel like either one or two things is going to happen. Obviously she must have had some type of emotional connection to Tom, even if it's just a little bit despite the money. They had a history. They've been together for a long time. So I'm sure she's going to feel something. Or two, she's gonna feel extremely guilty that she allowed him to take the fall for everything and, took all the blame. And yeah, she took some of the criticism, but let's just say that she did know what was going on behind her back, right? She might feel guilty that she also didn't go down with him, but who knows? Maybe she won't feel nothing at all, but then she starts talking about Dorit, and this is where she loses me because she's basically asking her doctor how to be sympathetic and how to be a good friend. She was like, Dr. Dorit and we had an issue recently, and she says that, she was hurt about what I said about her and her marriage. And then the doctor was trying to explain to her, like, yeah, you need to put yourself in other people's shoes. Here comes Erica. But how exactly do you do that, doctor? So you have to try to feel what the other person is feeling. Try to put yourself in their body. Okay, but what do you mean about that? Okay, so Erica, so basically what you have to do is just basically try to understand other people's emotions. Do you get what I'm saying? What are emotions? Like, Erica, how old are you again? Like, get it together. And I'm pretty sure that this doctor, she probably told Erica, Erica, just between me and you, off the record, did you know about what was going on with Tom? We head back over to Dorit's house and she's in the kitchen cooking up some dry pizza with PK. She's like, PK, my baba, do you think that Kyle is gonna like this pizza? This pizza looks so tasty. I'm gonna put it on our Hermes plates. So then Kyle, she pops in. They sit down to eat the dry pizza on the Hermes plates. Kyle, right away, she starts complaining about Kathy Hilton and saying that she's a monster. She's this, that, and the third. She's used to getting her way, blah, blah, blah. Kyle, just say that you do not like any of your sisters or your family. You only like yourself and that's it. And we can move on from this because what are we getting out of this? Kathy's not even on the show anymore. She can't even defend herself. And even if she was on the show, it wouldn't matter because she was there last season and look how you treated her. I'm not saying that Kathy is no angel because I do agree. I do feel like what Lisa was saying about her last season is true to some extent. But I mean, again, you seem like a very shitty sister from what we've seen of you on the show twice already. So, and speaking of Kathy Hilton, I said this story before as well, but you know, I ran into Kathy Hilton. Well, she ran into me and you know, we talked or whatever. And I was like, Kathy, I want to show you something. And she was like, what? So I pulled out my YouTube channel on my phone and I was like, look, I do reviews about the show that you're on. And I was just talking about you on the video that I made. And she was like, oh, what's the name of your channel? And I said, oh, it's I Am Raphael. And guess what she said? She said, oh, I actually watch your channel. And I'm like, what? I mean, I said it before, but I feel like she was just trying to be nice. But who knows? She might not have been lying, but who knows? Kathy, if you're watching, hey. But then Dorit, she starts talking about this robbery again. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot that was a thing. But she starts talking about it. And I mean, do y'all still believe it? Because I don't. But Dorit goes on to vent to Kyle. And she's like, you know what? I really needed PK. I needed my Bubba in that time of need. You know, I was going through so much and, you know, he was over there in London doing who knows what, doing who knows who. And I just really needed him by my side. And all I had were my Chanel purses and my Louis Vuitton bag and nothing else. And I really needed him, Kyle. I needed him. And I'm like, you know, is this the direction that we're going in this season, Dorit? Are you eventually going to become single? Is that what we're doing? But, you know, as of now, they just put out a statement, her and PK, together on People magazine of all places, right? Saying that, oh no, all these rumors about them, you know, living together, but in separate rooms or whatever, it's all false, it's all lies, they're still loving, they're still together. Yeah, sure. We see Garcel and her two sons, Jax and Jade, heading off to the beach to have a picnic. But before that, they stop at the gas station. Jax, he gets out to put gas in the car, but he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's spilling gas all over the place. I can't really judge him too much because I grew up in New Jersey, and in New Jersey, you know, somebody else pumps your gas. You don't do it yourself personally. So I don't really know when I learned to do it. So we're in the same boat, Jax. But eventually they get to the beach, they have their picnic. I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be a cute moment between all three of them. Wrong, because Garcel starts talking about her parenting and her being a mother to them, and she's like, okay, this is our conversation, this is our time for you to tell me what I can do to be a better parent, right? They're both 15, but Jade is more into his girlfriend and that whole situation. Jax, he tells Garcel, I wish I had more freedom, but Garcel is looking at him like, you already have enough freedom, what more do you want? So he pushes back and he's like, I appreciate that you're trying to be a better parent now, but I don't need any more parenting. You know, it could have been useful 2 years ago. Now, not so much. And on one aspect, I appreciate the honesty between all three of them, that they could speak to each other like this, even if it does come off a little bit harsh, I guess. But I appreciate that Garcel has made them comfortable enough to express themselves to her like this. And on the other hand, it's a very bold comment for Jax to say that he doesn't need any type of parenting, that he has it all figured out at 15 years old, when we just saw you a second ago struggling to put gas in the car. It could also be some type of resentment or some type of grudge that he holds against Garcel for not being there for him at some point in his life. He's probably looking at her like, oh, I went through so-and-so and so-and-so 2 years ago. Where were you then? Now you want to check on me? Well, now it's too late. I don't need you anymore. I went through whatever I went through by myself, and I got myself out of that myself. I don't need you anymore. So I don't know. Regardless, it's a very sad situation, and I wish all three of them the best. But we head over to Kyle's house, and we see Mauricio in the middle of a phone call. He's talking business, his work schedule, how he's so booked and busy. Kyle, on the other hand, she's at the door listening to this, but then she starts throwing a tantrum. She's like, hey, Mauricio, hey, this is my town. Let's go. Come on, we need to go talk. 2 more seconds? Okay, get off the phone. Come on, I need to go earn my Bravo check. Come on, let's go. Hang up the phone. Come on, let's go. Come on, are you almost done? And I'm like, Kyle, sit your ass down. like doing way too much. But eventually they both make it to the living room. And is it just me, or this whole entire scene between both of them just felt so forced, so staged, and it felt like they were trying to convince us that it was real because they're just sitting there awkwardly staring at each other. Kyle, she's sitting there already at a 10, and Mauricio's looking at her like he's about to forget the script that they went over last night. So he tells her, oh, you've been looking good lately. You've been working out lately, right? Kyle, she's like, well, yeah, you just noticed now? Yeah, I've been working out or whatever. I guess you could call it that. But thanks for noticing just now. And I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? Where's the tension coming from? And then Mauricio, this is where he loses me because he's like, oh, so these tattoos, I didn't know you had so many. And Kyle is like, well, I mean, you know, you would have noticed if you would have just took time to, you know, maybe do things with me or whatever. But I guess now you're too busy or whatever, doing whatever, right? And I'm like, again, what's happening? What's going on? Like, are both of you about to fight so I can leave? Like, what's happening here? And then she's like, oh yeah, I have so many tattoos, etc., etc. In the confessional, she goes on to say that she wants to do things for herself, that she's been working out, and her fitness journey, it has been something very revealing to her that, you know, she has control of, because usually she has to follow her mom's orders, Kathy's orders, Mauricio's orders, everybody's orders, Bravo's orders, but now she just wants to focus on herself. AKA she wants to be single. It's okay, Kyle, I get it. So then she tells Mauricio, oh yeah, I have this tattoo, this tattoo, this tattoo, this tattoo, this tattoo, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, all over the place, right? And Mauricio's like, oh, well, that's enough, right? Like, you're not gonna get any more, right? Kyle is like, you thought. I'm still gonna get like 10 more tattoos. And he's like, no, you shouldn't get them. No, I don't think that you should. He tries to be nice about it, but Kyle tells him, if I wanna get a tattoo, it's because of my decision, not because of yours or anybody else's. It's mine to make. And I'm like, yes, Kyle, yes. Even though you're so fucking annoying. Yes, Kyle, yes. So Mauricio, he did not like that, and he tells her, well, in that case, now you're not allowed to get another tattoo at all. I'm not allowing that. And I'm like, allow? You're not allowing me to do what? Because my tattoo artist would have been on speed dial like, hello, Jenny? Yeah, I'm coming in today. Can you tattoo my nipples and my ass? Yeah, and you know what? My neck too. Do you do piercings? Because I want to get my nipples pierced. Like, absolutely not. Like, allowed. Like, absolutely not. Mauricio lost his damn mind. And now, just because of that, I'm Team Kyle. Regardless whether this whole situation is fake or not, but Mauricio was crazy for that. And Kyle actually confirmed on Watch What Happens Live that her and Mauricio don't sleep in the same bedroom anymore. They are separated, and she was hurt with the pictures that came out earlier today with him and his Dancing with the Stars partner, which I'm more shocked that he's still on the show. Like, he hasn't been eliminated. Like, he actually knows how to dance. But regardless, you know, he was holding hands with his partner, and they seem a little touchy-touchy, but she didn't like that, so she deleted all the pictures on her Instagram supporting him on the show. So there's that. But I don't know. I mean, would Kyle actually play with her marriage for a storyline on this show? Yes. This whole situation between both of them just seems very forced and staged, but we'll see what happens as the episodes go on. But as a premiere overall, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't the best. It wasn't amazing, but it was just kind of like, okay, you know, we saw the cast. We see what everybody's up to, what's going on. They're kind of setting the stage for what's going on the rest of the season, and that's that. It was nothing like crazy, but you know, if anything, did anybody hear the taglines? Crystal, she says her tagline was, you know, with wisdom, with age comes wisdom, and I'm proving otherwise. Like, what does that mean? Because I heard it like 3 times, and I'm like, is she calling herself a dumbass? Like, Crystal, first of all, they did you dirty this entire episode by not showing anything of you, and now they chose this tagline for you. Like, what were you thinking? But let me know what you all thought about this whole entire premiere down in the comments. With wisdom comes age. I prove otherwise. So stupid. Bye, everybody. Mwah.